Welcome to Optimizing the Garbomons, the series where I take actual crap Pokemon that you should never use and find the most viable set for them in a given tier and give a specific use case for them. I do not pre-plan these videos entirely. I get a general idea and I roll for it so that you get to watch the journey live. Well, not live, of course. I don't stream. That would be terrifying. So, our target of inquiry today, Victreebel. Target of inquiry. Now, Victreebel is interesting. You see, I think it's maybe slightly decent. We're going to compare it to Venu right now. I wouldn't run them both on the same team because they both really need sleep powder. Well, maybe. Look at the differences. 308 attack, 262 attack. 228 defense, 264 defense. Base 80 speed, base 70 speed. We're going to go over speed tiers real fast. Ties with Cloyster rather than outspeeding it. I think that's pretty much the only notable difference. See, like, the base 70-80 speed tiers, interesting. Yeah, these mons are completely blanked by Skarmory, so the speed tie against it does not matter. Maybe Victreebel gets 50% of the time, it gets drill packed before it sleep powders a Skarmory. Both are outsped by Coon. That's it. That's the thing. Is that I don't think the speed, like, people cite the speed as will cite the speed as a major difference with them. There is nothing other than Cloyster and Skarm between 70 and 84. Because you're not outspeeding the 85 mons with a Venu. It's not base 90. You're base 80. So Venu gets to jump on Cloy. But I think this is fine. Because Victreebel's gonna hit a lot harder. So we're gonna go Victreebel, OU Swords Dance. Didn't even know how an OU Swords Dance in Portable. We're gonna go. They have the same special attack, so we're gonna go. What's something that you always hit with? We're gonna go Tom. What are in fact the neutral targets? What's something that hits? Okay, we're actually going to Cloyster. Cloyster is a good example. Actually, it's a horrible example because Giga Drain. Eggy. Sludge Bomb is doing 56.9. We always take the lowest number. Now we go to Venu. Doesn't have Sludge Bomb. Doing it 18%. Maximum 15 because we're taking the lowest. That's the thing. This mon, it's Sludge Bomb. Boom. Oh, Sweet Kiss is awful. But yeah, look at that. Sludge Bomb. So, let's see how that changes matchups. Does more to Blissey. We'll go to Blissey. We will calc at +2. Body Slam doing 38 to 45. Now we're going to go to Victreebel. +2 is doing 71 to 84. You're taking 42 from Flamethrower, though. Venu SD, you're taking 31. That's a substantial difference. Except you're not getting a 2 at KO. That's 3 at KO. Victreebel, 2 at KOs. Blissey. Okay. Next up, let's look at 4 calcs is just depressing for both of them. Gengar. Victreebel versus Gengar. Let's see how bad this is. Sludge Bomb at +2 actually does a little bit. So that's acceptable. Of course, we're running probably tar teams with this, almost always. Because you're just so well by Gengar, both of them are. Grass is not good coverage. Grass, physical is not the best. We can also do Hidden Power Rock stuff, but I think Giga Drain's just better. Because then, you don't get walled by stuff that you really shouldn't be getting walled by, like Golem. So next up we have... So Victreebel can hit Gengar. Minor point. Jinx is gonna murder both of them. Heracross. Let's look at Heracross. No, let's look up a champ. Something you have defensive utility against. You're taking 22 to 26 from Cross Chop. +2 Sludge Bombs to a KO. Now how about Venu? I don't like this defensive set. It's too passive. At +2, that is not a 2-hit KO. You're taking 19 instead of 22. That's marginal. So we give Victreebel the edge in the Machamp matchup, which is not the most relevant matchup, as Machamp isn't the best right now, unfortunately. Venu and Victreebel win, it's better in the Missy matchup, but not by much. Milk Tank is... No, because if it's a Milk Tank team, there's going to be a Skarmory, you can't always plan against that. We'll look at Marowak calcs. Venu at +2 versus Marowak. Giga Drain out damages. Both will do the same amount of damage. Giga Drain, we're looking at the calcs. Okay, they're both guaranteed 2-hit KOs. Well, maybe. Because you do 68. And then you... so yeah, so minus 68 is... you're at like 31%. And then you go up to 52. Yeah, so it's rolls. If you get if you get like a with Giga Drain, you can live 2, sometimes, depending on how much. So you could switch in and threaten to Giga Drain to a KO and barely live, which is a point Venu has in favor. Because you take 68, so you have 32 HP, but then you Giga Drain, so you're back at if you just get hit with a max roll or there's spikes down, you're screwed. If anything, this should be telling you guys why they are UBL, not OUs. Yeah. Nidoking is probably something that's decent to calc against. Actually, I think Nidoking is probably the biggest thing that kind of denies Victreebel's viability that we've gone over so far. Because Venu's taken 34 to 40 from Ice Beam. That's like Zapdos rolls. Like, on Zapdos. But +2 Body Slam is doing 34 to 40. Okay. Now let's look at Victreebel. This is going to be painful to look at. Holy cow, that's... Ice Beam has a chance to 2-hit KO, doesn't it? With spikes down, that's guaranteed to a KO. That's really depressing. So that's a point in victory in Venusaur's favor. Starmie is maybe something to look at. Sludge Bomb is doing quite a chunk versus Venu. So Venusaur takes substantially less from Psychic. So I think Venusaur might actually win the. You might barely win a one-on-one because you don't go for body slams. Giga Drain out damages your body slams. So you Giga it, heal. Let's say 25 because lefties. So you go down to minus 63, so you're at 37, and then you heal 25, so you're at 62. So you can live 2 Psychics. And if they have spikes down... So Venusaur versus Psychic Starmie has an edge in the matchup. Victreebel can poison Tyranitar. Venusaur can para it. Both nice. I would Suicune. I'd give the edge to Victreebel easily. Let's look at Zapdos' hidden power. HP Ice is doing 30 to 39 on Venu. Plus 2 Body Slam is doing 31. Holy cow, that's depressing. Versus Victreebel. Plus 2 Sludge. You're taking 4. So that's a 2-hit KO with spikes down. Alright, where was I? Yeah, so Sludge Bomb is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. So Zapdos can't switch into you and threaten you out if you're at full HP. And Sludge Bomb's just like, yeah. But HPIs can 2-hit KO you, so it depends on who's switching into who. But overall, I hope you're seeing that Victreebel gets a lot of 2-hit KO thresholds with Sludge Bomb. Now the real question is, Stun Spore or not? Is it Stun Spore or Sleep Powder? That's the question. Sleep Powder gives you an out against Nidoking and Skarmory. But parrying Nidoking, that's quite nice. Because Stun Spore can do that. If you paralyze Zapdos coming in, then your Sludge Bombs kind of tear through it. The problem is, without Sleep Powder, you don't really ever get to click SD. Do you get Stun Spore? You don't. So I think maybe Victreebel can do some Stun Spore stuff. Stun, SD, Sludge Bomb, and then Giga. Stuff like that. I think this is actually a decent set. Because the idea is you Stun Spore the Sleep Bait. Yeah, whatever's coming in to absorb sleep. But I don't know how you ever click SD, because Venus was quite frail. And it wants to be at like near 100% for these one-on-ones. So this is probably the optimal set. But the real hard part about optimizing this Garbomon is how in the world do you support it against Skarmory and Nidoking and Gengar? That's a good question, isn't it? We could always go Pursuit for Gengar. But I'm thinking something like this. Leftovers. Rock Slide, Dynamic Punch, Thunderbolt, EQ. EQ could, in theory, be... could be Surf in theory, but then you have a harder time on Gar. And then we have a Steelix in back. Top will handle the electrics or our own Nidoking. Go Steelix. Victreebel. Zapdos because Nidoking is terrifying. Lax. And Fori. Now, here's how we're gonna do this. We cry as soon as we see Jinx lead. No. There's two routes we can go. Of course, there's always the, do you run a Sleep Talk Zapdos as your only Sleep Talker and run EQ Lax, like Curse EQ Lax. But we're gonna do something like this. Spikes, Rapid Spin, HP Ghost, Explosion. Now, if every mon on our team except Victreebel can hit Gengar, I think we're fine. Because, look, Gengar's not really doing anything to Tar or Lix. It does something to Zapdos. It gets scared out by Fori. So as long as it doesn't have perfectly free entry on our Tar, I think, on our Lax, I think we're good. So we could do Curse EQ. We can do Body Slam EQ because Victreebel appreciates Parrot stuff, especially, but like, I think EQ is 100% necessary on this team. So like Rest, Sleep Talk. So Steelix is just gonna be standard stuff. EQ, Curse, Roar, Explosion. Zapdos could be something interesting. I don't think this team needs the para spam all too much. And it does appreciate Hidden Power Water. It does quite appreciate Hidden Power Water. So we definitely go with that. But we can also do something like this. I'm gonna make two variants. This is like a weird comparison, quick build, optimizing the Garbomon. But optimizing the Garbomon means building teams with it sometimes, because sometimes you just really need to support it. So I can do a more standard Victreebel quick build that's more like, doesn't take as much explanation of the lines of play. Okay, so this is a pretty standardish, makes sense team. Oh, it's not the Cloak and Dagger. I've explained this tar I explained this tar in my lead metagame video. I don't know if that's out yet or not. Victreebel, the star of the show. Steelix is the backup because tar does not have Roar. Then just Rest Talk EQ Lax. It's probably the best answer to Jinx and Nidoking without running the Curse EQ, Curse double-edged set with Rest Talk. But yeah, Rest Talk Lax is really good into Nidoking and Jinx. HP Ghost Fori to try and lure Gengar. This Snorlax likes to bluff non-EQ because you can EQ a Gengar. But this team is not meant to give Gengar a room. Optimizing the Garbomon. Victreebel. Team 1. Victreebel is spelled so weird. Now we're going to go to Team 2. It's going to be a variant, except it's going to be Iron Tail. No, we shouldn't do that. It just no, we can. It just means Zapdos is mean. Iron Tail, Curse, Rest, Sleep Talk. Yeah, no. It's quite the interesting set. Victreebel, Zapdos should be a hidden power water. Maybe we go Raikou on this team. Maybe. But this frees up. No, actually, sorry. No, we have to go Zapdos because we're doing Whirlwind. Yeah, Whirlwind. Because we need a phaser. Now, it's going to be like it's the beatdown Snorlax approach. We're just constantly smacking Snorlax. I can't believe we haven't done Victreebel calcs against Snorlax. +2 Sludge Bomb. Guaranteed to a KO with spikes. Venu. Not Venomoth, Venu. +2 Body Slam, barely doing anything. I think that's probably the biggest use case for Victreebel is it slams Snorlax. We don't so much need Fori on this team. So we can go Koi. I like Cloyster a lot more. Because we don't give too much room for the electrics. And we can probably safely go Double Edge, Curse, Rest. So Steelix is our Sleep Absorber. It doesn't take it the best from Nidoking, but you don't get punished too hard unless it's Fire Blast. Fire Blast Nidoking's kind of underrated, but it's kind of really hard to justify. And then, I think Surf Icy Wind to really piss off Zapdos. Because then you Icy Wind it, and then Victreebel comes in and it's faster. Can SD there if it's full health. Tar comes in, it's faster. I think Icy Wind's fine here. I just mostly want to show off Icy Wind Cloyster. Spikes. Explosion. Toxic would be just fine here. Or Ice Beam would be just fine here. This team does not give Cloyster too much room. So I think you're fine not having, like, HP Electric's not necessary. So the real question is, do we go Thunder Wave or Protect? Or Rest. I think Protect is probably better here. Yeah, Protect Zapdos is kind of neat. Okay. So that's the second variant of this team. Relying on beat down Snorlax. And then phase it out with Zapdos. Which, this Tar is great at beating down Snorlax if it hits his dynamic punches. Actually, no. It should be Toxic just to help further beat down Snorlax. To force it to rest sooner. So, that's the second Victreebel team. I think these are decent teams. I should start making Pokepaste. I'll make a Pokepaste video of all my GSC teams that are decent sometime. So that was optimizing the Garbomon, Victreebel.